James Gunn Superman. I haven't seen the movie yet. Well, is it out yet? But anyways, there's a scene there, I think, that is being arrested by ICE. Well, he is. Superman is an immigrant, legal immigrant, though, thanks to his adopted parents. You know.
Which brings us to the new Superman movie. It's shortly to appear in cinemas. And before we get into what the new Superman is all about, let's just reminisce for a moment about how good Superman used to be. Here's the old Superman.
Good evening.
This is Christopher Reeves. Yeah.
Officer Mooney. Well, they say confession's good for the soul. I'd listen to this man. Take him away.
Look at that.
Truth, justice, and the American way. What a
Yeah, citizen's arrest. You know, Superman's not a law enforcement. He was just a citizen, so citizen's arrest.
great movie Superman was. Great franchise until now, with the new director James Gunn announcing that Superman is really a story about an immigrant that comes from other places looking for kindness. Now, obviously,
An
he's
alien.
positioning this new movie.
Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. James Gunn. If you don't have anything that to dislike James Gunn's Superman, this is it. Snyder's Superman is a way, way, way better than James Gunn's. By far. Especially with all this stunt that's been saying.
Be part of the debate over how Trump is treating illegals and whether or not Trump's policies are fair and kind. After all, Superman arrived from another planet, a refugee, a migrant looking for love. Of course, what the left...
So, yeah, there's no scene of Superman being arrested by ICE unless they have Krypton or kryptonite. Man, this people they just can't shut their mouth. Leave that political thing alone, man. We want to enjoy the movies.
Out is that he was raised in Middle America by Christian parents to assimilate as a good American and uphold law and order. Here's a clip from the new Superman out
Maybe there
soon,
is.
which, by the director's own admission, is highly political.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman.
He's anti-woke.
He's being arrested by ICE
He hasn't
officials.
been arrested. Okay, I just have to... Okay, Superman, the original
This is
movie, 1978, starring Christopher Reeve, is my favourite film of all time. I'm an absolute Superman tragic, and everything they've basically done since then. I like Superman 3, controversial, The Quest for Peace, we're not even talking about it. Then Superman Returns, terrible, Man of Steel, and now they've had to reboot the whole thing because Batman vs
Snyder's
Superman, Justice
Superman's
League
a
were
better.
absolute dogs, right? So this is rebooting the entire Superman universe, and I have got my entire heart just resting, hanging on this movie.
Your
And
heart is about to be
looks like
ripped out of
it
your
is
chest and
it is going to
thrown
be
on the
absolutely-
ground,
It's going to be
Joe.
absolutely fantastic. I've watched all of those trailers about 50 million times. You are absolutely right. Superman is a good, God-fearing Christian American. He was actually created by two Jewish boys, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. He fights for truth, justice, the American way. That's absolutely clear. He does happen to be an immigrant from the planet Krypton, but he does get raised by Ma and Pa Kent.
He was thrown here like like the DACA baby. He was sent here. But then again, thanks to their adopted parents, they seek the legal way. So he is a legal immigrant. It's not the illegal immigrant like those people are crossing the border. These people got to know how to differentiate those, man.
in middle America. And the guy they've got playing his adoptive father is not Kevin Costner anymore. He's a fat, pot-bellied, bearded, Trump-voting farmer. You can tell it just by looking at him. His adoptive mum cleans his boot.
Wait a minute. A white, big, birded, pot-belly person, you assume that is a Trump voter. Oh, boy, you haven't seen a lot of Trump voters, have you?
That's one of the few lines of things. She goes, I've just cleaned your boots for you, son. These guys are Trump voters. Don't worry, kids. It's totally safe. And when Lois Lane is having that fight with him in that interview, it's because he decided to just go in there, cut through all the bureaucratic red tape, go in there, crack some skulls, stop a war from happening. And she's saying, oh, why didn't you have the appropriate government approval? She is the deep state. He is the freedom fighter.
Lois is the fake news.
I'm not so convinced
She's
about
fake
Joe's
news. She works for
take on the
CNN.
new Superman movie. It sounds like it is going to be a rerun of what we have seen flop so many times in Hollywood.
Superman's going woke in the film. There's nothing woke about that. I mean, we all knew all along that, before this immigration thing, that Superman was not actually from this planet, let alone from America. He's a different type of being from the planet Krypton. We all know that. When I was a kid, I knew that. So why is now this being called woke? It's not woke. If that's the only thing that if that's the only scene that they have, or words that was mentioned there, there's nothing woke about that. Now, if they, start saying that, he belongs to America, regardless of his status, because all the human beings are not illegal, or something like that, then that's woke, right? Then that's woke. Now, if Superman decided to fight, the government because he wants an open border, now that's woke. But if that was the only way, that's the only time that he mentioned about immigration, or was mentioned in that film, then it's not woke, right?
We just saw Disney spend, in total, they spent about $410 million on the new Snow White remake, and they made only $200 million on it.
Yeah, so Disney and others, those are different. You know what I mean? Those are different. They're actually now being managed by the woke ideology. They think everything is all about representations, changing race of the characters that don't need to be doing that, and those are woke, the Disneys, and like she said, I mean, they're losing money because people are not buying it. I won't watch it. I won't watch any of those Disney anyway. I think that Pixar though. I like the Toy Stories. I like Finding Nemo and all of that. But no, that's not Disney though. Disney. I don't even know when was the last time I've seen a movie.
That is a huge loss. And that has been repeated time and time again since the early 2010s. All of these movie franchises remaking iconic classics, but feeling the need to make them updated and progressive to fit with the times. And in the end, they just butcher them. Yeah. And I do not understand when these people will realize that ordinary folks don't want to go to the movies and be lectured at about politics.
I'll tell you who does get it. True. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is about the only person who understands when you go to a movie, you just want to enjoy the movie. But instead, James Gunn, director of the new Superman movie, says it's about politics and it's about morality. I don't want to hear about politics and morality from Hollywood directors, but he's got a message for people like me who don't want to go to the movies and be lectured. He says, and I quote, people like them, quote unquote, screw them. That's what Hollywood thinks of its.
Yeah, that's the bad move from James Gunn, man. Screw them. So you're gonna alienate people, a bunch of people that really love Superman. or whatever Superman universe that you created, you gotta alienate them from not watching your movie. So you're doing you're Bud Lighting it per se, where you're following the footsteps of Disney's James Gunn. So just like make a movie, shut your mouth. If you want to become a politician, then run for office. If not, that's what it is. But I'm gonna go see it though. I'm gonna see how, in comparison to the Snyder's Superman. Well, I already know that if you compare that. But anyway, let's see what you say. What do you think? If you've seen it, please don't spoil it. Don't put in a comment and spoiling the movie for everybody. All right. We'll see ya.